Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. 2 in 1 day. We're doing it. ABJ Podcast, episode 27. If you want to check out the previous episode of Philly Mike Swanson, the replay is on Twitch as well as YouTube and Facebook. And the audio is available right now on all major podcast platforms. You can go listen to that and make sure you leave a review. And 5-star review goes a long way. Also, just like I said, links below for my guest, as well as shows that you can see me coming up at, as well as support links for Philly Mike Swanson and Adina Steele are all below. You can grab merchandise as well as support the Patreon or whatever's down there that you want to do to support anybody below. I just wanted to quick show this off. I forgot last stream is the Teespring added hats, and I always wanted a hat with my stuff on it, but they started doing embroidery hats. And I must say, I'm very, very happy with the way they came out. Very good quality snapback hats. But yeah, check them out on the website. The only things up there right now are the PA logo, the ABJ logo, and iHeart ABJ logos are all available right now, I believe, on hats, beanies. But there's like 4 different style of hats. But go check it out. A lot of cool things. Great way to support the podcast. Keep the lights on. It's pretty much all I got. I know on last episode I kind of talked about it. I'll do it real quick too. If you are available this weekend, make sure you come out to Mayfield, Pennsylvania for a Night of Steel. This Saturday the 11th, Falcons Nest, 403 Hudson Street, Mayfield, Pennsylvania. Doors at 6, bell time 7:30. Front row, I believe, is sold out, but don't hold me to it. As well as general admission is available for $20. That's going to be this weekend if you want to come hang out. And I have a bunch of other shows coming up. 2 in Jersey on the 18th. You can check me out there, but that one is sold out. So you can check the replay on YouTube once it airs. Then you can see myself as well as my guest on this show, SSW Zero Gravity. That's going to be in Rio Grande, New Jersey. And then coming up in March will be March 5th at the Throop Center, the 40th birthday bonanza for Uncle Masty. Also benefits for Philly Mike and Adina Steele. And then High Tension Wrestling presents Spring Break 93 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So a lot of great events coming up. All the information is below, as well as ways to buy tickets for all those shows. Follow them on YouTube, as well as check out their social medias. So without further ado, let's bring in my guest, Riley Krowe, making her podcast debut. Riley Krowe. What's going on?
What's up? Not much.
You're definitely in one of those things where I have to, even in public, I call you Riley because I don't want to get used to your, the shoot. I suck with shoot names. Everyone's like, yo, stop calling me. I'm like, no, I'm calling you your wrestling name because I'll fuck it up, especially on commentary. My brain can't handle that because I don't want, I used to
always introduce myself as Riley to, anybody, but now it's just, it's always Sierra. And it's funny because at work, they have nicknames for everybody at work, and because they know that I wrestle, they got my Riley Krowe is on every ticket that gets printed out. It's what my name is in the system. I have customers that come up and they're like, "Hey Riley, can I get one of these?" Yeah, sure. What's up?
I love that. That's great that your gimmick name carried over to a bar. That's awesome.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Fun bar too. We got to have a couple beers there one night.
Yeah, absolutely. We got some music playing. I think on the 18th over there too.
A band?
Yeah, I forget. I think it's Haters or Hatters or something like that. But yeah,
Jamie Hader's gonna be there.
I wish that'd be neat.
I had a koozie. I don't know where it went though. I lost it. I have a Jamie Hader koozie. I fidget with things off screen, so I don't talk on my hand. So I'm holding on something the whole time I'm playing with my vape pen. I'm doing this the whole time.
I'm sitting here playing with the wire.
Yeah, I need one of those fidget things that they give ADHD.
Yeah, they got those little cubes. You got 7 different things you can do.
Yeah, that's what I need. I need one of
those. That's great. Oh man,
awesome. So yeah, I want to thank you for coming on the podcast, making your podcast debut. For all those other podcasts that were trying to book her, I had her sign an exclusive NDA, so she couldn't go on any other show. No, that's not.
I wasn't allowed to do anything. I couldn't. Yeah. I was forced. Captive.
It was a contract. Couldn't do it. But you a very long time.
Yeah.
A while ago. We never really talked or anything like that, and then I seen you at PPW, and then really started seeing you when you made your return after having the coolest little human being on the planet.
I started back in 2015 was the first time I actually saw my first indie show. Everybody's got this really cool backstory on how they got into wrestling. When I think I went to, I just recently posted about it. I went to the Royal Rumble back in 2013 or something like that. And I think that was my only live wrestling event that I've ever been to. And
Yeah,
then
I've
when
only
I
ever been to Raw
was
and SmackDowns. I've never been to a pay-per-view.
that was opposite for me. Like once I started getting into wrestling, like all of us trainees would go to like, house shows over at the PPL Center in Allentown.
Mhm.
But like before that, I watched like Raw and SmackDown on TV and everything, but that was it. Like I never really did any of that. And my dad was like friends with my trainer. He's like, hey, let's go like help set up with this show. I was like, all right, sure. So I'm there and they're like all doing stuff in the ring and I'm helping. I was like, yo, this is actually pretty cool. We come back for the show. I watched all of that. I was like, so that's how it's done. And then he's like, yeah, you guys should come by. We do training twice a week. Check it out. So I was only 16 because you couldn't start training until you were 17. So I got there and I was just like super intent. I just watch everything. And then the Tuesday, because training was Tuesdays and Thursdays. So the Tuesday or Thursday after my 17th birthday, instantly started training. Been doing it ever since.
Now, you said your dad was also into pro wrestling. So did your dad get you into the wrestling world and
Not
watching
necessarily. Like I mean, like he watched like the Raw and SmackDown and all that kind of stuff like I did. But like he met Samu, my trainer. He met him through pool. Like they go to the bar and they, shoot pool, play poker, all that kind of stuff. So that's how they knew each other. My dad, like he's not to call him a mark, but like kind of a mark.
Listen, if I was at a bar and I was shooting pool and playing poker with one of the head shrinkers, I'd mark out a little bit.
I think I would too.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Like that guy has an action figure coming out next month. You know what I mean? Like
exactly. It's like, oh, remember that day? So good.
Yeah. So fun fact with Samu, I don't think I've ever told this on the podcast. Samu has a sister. And so I was working at my shoot job at the time that when I was there, and I was kind of like not like a lead, but I was running a dock, like a shipping dock. And this one woman was there, and everyone thought she was Spanish, and she would get pissed. She's like, "I'm not fucking Spanish." Like she wasn't being like mean about it, but she clearly wasn't Spanish. And I was like, "I think she's Samoan." And everyone's like, "What the hell's Samoan?" I go, "The only reason I know that is because I'm a wrestling fan." So the one day she walks by, we're all at the table, and I was like, "I'm not gonna say her name, but it's definitely like a Samoan name." And I'm like, "You go to that truck, you go to that truck." And then the one guy says something to him in Spanish. He's like, "Yo, you're Spanish." And he said to her, trying to not say the name, but says her name and then says something in Spanish. And she goes, "Bro, I'm Samoan. I don't speak Spanish." And I was like, "Yeah, she's part of the Samoan dynasty. Don't mess with her. Like her whole family is probably professional wrestlers."
Absolutely.
And she kind of shot me a look, like, "How the fuck do you know that?" And then I was walking by her truck, and she goes, "Yo, Anthony, come here." And I brought her in the truck, and she's like, what do you know about Samoan wrestling? I said, "I'm a fucking diehard wrestling fan my whole life." Like, I literally had the whole dock into pro wrestling. Like, they would walk out of trucks, and it became everyone's deal when they came out and they like posed like The Rock or they do the Stone Cold thing. Like, the whole dock was into pro wrestling because of me.
No, it's like it's funny how it all works out because I actually went to middle school with one of Samu's nephews.
Oh wow.
So it's like his dad and everything. Like him and I became close. He's a great guy. He's like we're super cool and everything. And then it's just funny how it all like just ties in and everything. It's insane.
Yeah, and she was like, "Dude, you know my whole family history." I was like, "Yeah." It's like, but she was super nice. She actually brought an autographed 8x10 in of Samu before I even met him at a wrestling show.
That's fantastic. Oh man.
But it was really funny how like the bloodline essentially has transcended, especially in this Northeast PA scene, because this was a huge spot for them. So kind of being said, like you're trained by a member of the bloodline. You're trained by the Samoan dynasty.
Yeah,
what is
that's
being trained in that family like?
It's family is probably like the main word right there. Like when I first started training, there were times like I'd go over to their apartment and like I'd be having to do schoolwork because we didn't have Wi-Fi at the time. So I'd be like using their Wi-Fi doing my schoolwork. Sammy would come over, be helping me with my schoolwork. He's like, "What does this even mean?" I was like, "Dude, I don't even know. I don't know at all." And like, so his son Lance, he works for bigger companies now as well. And yeah, absolutely. I'll be there one day. But he's a pretty cool dude, once you get to know him and everything. Like everybody is, once you really get to know them, it's just like this big family. And they want the best for you. So like in training and everything, my chops are like hard. I'm going for it. Samuel always said, he's like, "You're gonna chop someone, I want you to aim for their back." Like you chop them in the chest, aim for their back. I was like, all right. So when you see me chopping, that is because of that. I take everything that I've always been taught from there. I take that stuff to heart. So
Yeah, I heard their cookouts are legendary.
oh, absolutely. They're the
Like a Samoan
best.
cookout, like they have
Mm-hmm.
pig roast and stuff. I heard they are fantastic.
They go all out, all their foods and everything, and just like I actually just messaged Samu the other day. I was like, "Yo, so what's a good like steak marinade?" Because like Mike wanted a steak, and I was like, "All right, I need a good steak marinade." And if you've ever had a Samoan cook you a steak, oh my god, you're
That's
never
what I
going
heard.
back to any other
I heard
steak.
the food is unbelievable. I
Oh,
believe
it's
I
so
believe
good.
Lance right now is tag team champions in MLW with
I want to say yes, yeah.
with another member of the Samoan family. I'm having a brain fart right now. I'm sure somebody in the
Crap,
chat will
what's
say
his
it, but
name?
I believe they're tag
Probably,
team.
yeah. I don't even remember
Yeah.
what the name is, but yeah.
Fatu. Jacob Fatu, I think.
Is that who it is? Yeah,
That
I
might
actually have a necklace of his where Sam did a show for WXW and a necklace was left behind of his, and we never, like, I wasn't able to get it back to him, so I think it just sits in my closet randomly. I keep saying, I was like, one day I'll see him and I'll give it back to him, and it's like 10 years later.
Now, what else, has anyone like working at that school? Any other members of the family showed up and like you got a chance to pick their brain or learn from them?
I had Rikishi. He came in and did like a training seminar. So everybody came into training, who actually trained there, and he gave everybody this big seminar. Afterwards we all sat down, and he gave us like the in and outs. He's like, do this, don't do that. Like he was super sweet to everybody that was there, and just like being able to sit there and learn from somebody who's actually been out there is absolutely insane.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Probably right before the pandemic, like right before or it might have been like right after. It might have been after. I don't remember. But we went to a show, me and Alex, and it was a WXWC4 show. And halfway through the show, Lance is getting beat up by Tommy Vex of all people, and this guy runs in, and I'm looking at the guy, and I'm like, bro, that's one of the Usos. And then it was Solo before he cut his hair and went to NXT. Like, I got to see Solo right before he went to NXT, but he didn't have the blonde yet. It was still like he looked like his brother. Like, they have the same everything. And I was like, that's an Uso. And like, no, that's the youngest brother. That's I think, was he still going by Solo at that time, or was he something else? I don't remember.
I don't remember if it was something different or not.
Yeah, but I was just like, so I got to see him right before he went to NXT. But
yeah,
what a cool environment. And it's once again like Lance, what a sweetheart. Like, he's another one, you talk to people on the scene and they're like, man, I remember Lance when he was like 12. Like watching him grow up.
I just told this story the other day since you brought up Tommy Vex. So when I first started training, he was already training there. But when I met him, so we were 17, both of us, this man had bleach blonde hair. I don't remember if he did it for like what. I think he did it something, I want to say for Halloween. And this man was Hulk Hogan and dyed his pitch black hair bleach blonde. And that is the way that I met Tommy Vex. It was fantastic.
Tommy Vex has not changed since.
No, not at all.
He's been Tommy the whole time.
Absolutely. So that same character, and yeah, it's, oh my god.
Yeah, that photo, it was you, Tommy, and Ace Austin.
There's a lot of people in that group picture, Dylan? But a lot of the people, Dylan was in it. I think there's a couple people that do like a couple shows here and there, but there's a couple other people that didn't, aren't into it anymore. So I didn't post the whole thing, but it zoomed in. I was like, wow, we were tiny. My hair was really bright. Don't do that anymore, but that was forever ago. Oh, man.
Yeah, it's crazy because like I don't think a lot of people in the scene now realize how long you've been around and the training you come through and like I said, like going through that school, like it's they don't treat you any differently because you're a female. You know what I mean? Like, and I heard the Samoan school is very cardio heavy too.
It is, yes. It took me a little extra to graduate from the school. It probably took me a good 2 years. Me and my parents, my brothers, we moved around like from Pennsylvania to Arizona a couple times. So it kind of drug out my training a little bit longer. And then once I did have my son and everything, after my debut, everything like that. And I had my kid, and I was probably out for close to a year and a half, maybe even 2 years for that, like just that time period, being pregnant, having my kid, and the time after that and everything. So I always try to narrow it down. Like, I've been in the business since like my first show 2015, and then so we're getting up there. I've been there for a little while, but
yeah. And like I said, this is the year of the Krowe. You have
absolutely
a lot on your
year.
plate, a lot you're doing, and a lot the shine's on you. Philly Mike's done. He's out for the year.
Yeah, he's out. Forget about him. It's all about me now.
So what have been some of your matches since coming back, since having your kid, that have really stuck out for you, or matches that you kind of feel like you're really finding yourself again in professional wrestling?
To be completely honest, my last couple of matches I haven't exactly been happy with. And I feel like a lot of other professional wrestlers can understand where I'm getting at, where it's just like sometimes you just let life get in the way of things, and it just kind of messes with how you perform.
Mm-hmm.
So the last couple matches, I've learned from it, and I plan to do better. But since having my kid and being back and everything, like, I've worked a handful of matches, a lot. I wouldn't say any particular one was my favorite, but I've had a decent amount, and I'm hoping that for 2023 I'm just gonna have 4 times the amount of that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Try to get every weekend booked out there, and actually, for as of right now, I think I have at least the majority of weekends booked up for the next 2 or 3 months. So I'm glad I'm headed in that direction. Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely say some standouts is when you and Mike wrestled at Sanctuary, because you just didn't hold back on each other. You're like,
oh, absolutely.
And then you and Angel Metro had a really good match at SSW.
That was a great match. I'll be honest, like, I'm really bad with names and like checking out other people. So like when I was told about her, I heard about her, but I didn't know anything about her. So once, her and I are going over our match, and like she's saying, yeah, I want to do this, I want to do that, I was like, absolutely, let's do it. So we get out there, and I think we just had like this chemistry, and I was like, I want it again. Like, I want to have another match with her.
She's very new to the game, and she's really taken to it.
Yeah,
she's taken to it.
I think she's just been around the right people when it comes to professional wrestling, that she already knows what she's doing, and I'm excited for someone out there to book us together again. So
yeah, and probably a person that you probably would have been locking horns with at some point in a one-on-one situation, that it's been teased in so many places because you're both in the Northeast area, is you and Adina. And then unfortunately, she breaks her collarbone, and this would have been a great year for you guys to maybe start a feud or a rivalry.
I mean, I know she's gonna be back soon, and there's definitely time for that to happen. Yeah, I've known Adina for, honestly, I can't even tell you when we met. I just know that like her and I have known each other for quite some time now. So that would definitely be a match that I'd be down for, and her and I would definitely have a banger doing that.
Yeah. Now, it is pretty tough in this area to find female talent. The Northeast PA scene is very scarce right now.
Yeah, it is. Honestly, it's like, I'm not saying that there's any bad wrestlers, or there's so many good wrestlers, and there's obviously there's less women wrestlers than there are men. So to sit there and find like a lot of indie promotions, usually they book a lot of the same women's matches because it's so hard to bring in women and everything like that. So like I want to get out there. Right now I don't have too many shows coming up for Pennsylvania, but New Jersey, like the majority of my shows are in there. And I've had somebody recently ask me, they're like, oh, would you come to Indiana for a show? Would you go to Maryland? I was like, yeah, I'm down for it. If you give me the right pay, help me out with my travel, I'm down for it. I was like, I'll work whatever. I want to get out there, travel more. And
Indiana
whatnot.
Is a drive.
It is definitely a
drive. Game. Oh my goodness.
Man.
That's a drive.
I mean, I'll be going down to Florida for a benefit show that I'm doing for someone, and that'll be fun. I've worked some. There's 2 girls down there, one by Raven Knight, and another one that a lot of people actually know her by. She goes by Tiny Tana Lee. She gives some of the best suplexes you've ever seen. She did amateur wrestling in high school and everything, and she brings that into her work. And nice. She really is like when she has the gimmick Tiny, like she is tiny, but she knows how to work.
Yeah.
So like I see her down in Florida doing her thing, and then I see that I'm like, her posting her stuff all over, this side of the coast, and I'm like, wow, she's doing good. That would be another match for 2023 that I would just absolutely love to have again. That's one of them.
Yeah, if you look at like our scene, if you just do Northeast PA, it's essentially right now you, Adina, and probably Shelby. And like, because if you bring Christina in, Christina's up in New York. That's a drive for her. Danny Moe is Pittsburgh. That's a 3-hour drive. Like, just like our little niche, there's not a lot. And if I'm missing somebody, I'm really, really sorry. But it's just like a lot of it is trying to get promoters to bring people from other states in to wrestle because it's really tough now. But
I'm cool with working guys too. Like when I first started training, it was when it like first started, it was all guys. There was like one chick at one point, but it was
Izzy
all
McCoy.
guys.
So
like
I forgot
Izzy McCoy. I've worked Izzy so many times. Her and I love her to death. She's great. But you put me in a match with a guy and I'm down for it. I've worked, all these different dudes all around, and it's just sometimes I think some of these men's matches that I work with are better than some women's matches I've had. So
now, do you have a theory or a reason for that?
Not particularly, I guess. I've worked some women that this isn't like me being a dick or anything to certain women's wrestlers, but there's a couple that aren't fully up there yet. You know what I mean? You have I'll be working Gabby Ortiz. I am excited as all hell to be working with her. Like, I've been seeing her stuff, and recently somebody asked me, like, what's your 2023 list of people you want to work? Gabby Ortiz was one of them on there. So that's, breaking it off my list and, breaking that down. But I have a decent amount of guys that just I've seen their work and what they can do. And obviously I know what I can do. So just to imagine what the two of us can do in a ring. And it's I need that to happen this year.
Yeah, and maybe you can shed more light on this, but this is just my assumption. I believe we talked about it, and I've talked about it with other female wrestlers, but it seems like when a female wrestler works a guy, and I know some people really don't like the intergender thing. I personally like it because I think it in professional wrestling, I think there's a place for it. But when a lot of female wrestlers work a guy, they're not afraid to lay shots in and make it look good, and the guy knows how to lay him into a girl, and the girl knows how to sell it. And it just looks and flows better. And then it seems like when two female get in the ring, they're hesitant to lay a shot in on each other because they're afraid it's gonna get weird or something. I don't know. I don't know the dynamic there. But
I guess it would depend who you're working. I guess
woman lay a shot in on the guy, and then I see the same girl work a match against a girl, and her punches aren't even close to what they were if she was working a male.
See, for me, if I'm working a guy, I always as a female, and I hate to say it, but we try to make ourselves look big. Because if you're working a guy, the stereotypical thing is, oh, that's a guy, that's a girl. Clearly the girl's gonna lose because this dude's strong. He's a guy, big man, big this, whatever. So I feel like it's kind of just part of the gimmick at that point. You have to, as a female, you have to make yourself look bigger and stronger, be able to get your stuff in. And, there's going to be certain moves you'll do on a girl that'll take her down in an instant. But if you do it on a really big dude that you're wrestling, obviously it's not going to happen. So, with your kicks or forearms or anything like that, that stuff needs to get laid in there because you're wrestling a dude and everybody thinks that the dude is bigger and stronger, but you want to make yourself look bigger and stronger.
Yeah, and there's a lot of girls in the scene who can do that when they wrestle. Like you and Angel, you guys laid them in. It looked great. We were talking
absolutely.
before the stream. Christina Marie, she don't care if she's working a guy or a girl. If you're working Christina, you're getting hit. She's gonna work it. Erica Lee, Vicky, Vivacious Vicky, or sorry, I always say her name wrong. My speech impediment. Gabby, they're all girls who are yo, if you work we're not going to sugarcoat this. We're laying our shots in and we're going to make it look good.
Absolutely. That's how I always, when I tell everybody, if I'm kicking you, I'm kicking you. If I'm giving a forearm, if I'm slapping you, I'm not going to gimmick that shit at all. I'm going in for it. I'll apologize afterwards, but during the moment, I'm going all at it. And same thing goes for my opponent. Do whatever, on Sunday when I worked Isaac Scythe. He does a lot of kicking, and he was like, yeah, I'm going to do this kick. Just remember to put your hand up, block it. I was like, no. I said, nope. I said, I know how to turn my head fast enough to where you're going to kick me in the face, but not hard enough to knock a tooth out.
Yeah.
Because I want that stuff to look real. So if you're going to kick me, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You're going to kick me.
You and Mike would look like a real power couple if you were missing a couple digits up there, you know?
Yeah, no, that's not happening. I can't. I like to be kicked in the face, but I'm not losing teeth over it. No.
So yeah, you said people you want to work this year. You already said some names there with Gabby. Who are some other people out there that you want to square off against?
It just came up recently. Billie Starkz is one of them. She's still in high school. She did her AEW Dark debut. She's kicking ass when it comes like GCW and just like going all over the world. You know, she's on the weekend. She's taking flights to different shows and comes home just in time to go to school, you know, Monday morning.
How crazy is that?
It's absolutely insane to me.
Not only is she, and I'm not trying to make it a thing, but it is, like, she's a female wrestler who's still in high school. And she's the most she's like a A1 quarterback coming out of high school that every school in the country wants to draft and wants them to play on their team. And she's a high school girl that the entire wrestling community, like veterans, are trying to book matches against her, that she's flying all over the country and working, like, and she's in high school. That is awesome.
Like, I just turned 25 and I tell everybody all the time that I want to be Billie Starkz when I grow up.
Yeah, she's amazing.
She's absolutely phenomenal. I see these things that she does in the ring, and I'm just like, I can't even do that.
Yeah.
So to have a match with her, that would be absolutely amazing. I'd die for that. That'd be great.
Where do you think she lands when it's all said and done and she's able to sign that contract? Do you think she's an E-girl, an NXT girl, or is she an AEW?
I would hope that she would be with AEW, only because, like, I personally like AEW more than NXT or WWE anymore, because AEW has more free will in what they do and what they say and everything like that. It's more like more comedy, more realism, more drama, just everything like that, where in my honest opinion, WWE has kind of fallen flat in that aspect because they want to stick with
more NXT. I think you'd fall in love with the women's division. I definitely want
to watch more NXT because I see all these women popping up on like my Twitter and everything for NXT, and I was like, I like her. I need to look her up. I need to see some of their work and all that kind of stuff.
They let them be characters. NXT's women's division. In the next 5 to 10 years, they're gonna be taking over the world of wrestling. That batch that's gonna come up from NXT is going to be the future of women's wrestling. They are really, really good.
And I think like that's like the secret part of women's wrestling, because it's like some of these girls who come up into NXT, it's like you don't really hear much about them. So that just makes you think how many other women are on the indie scene that we don't know about yet.
Yeah, 100%.
Like it's give it like a year or two from now, and how many more women's wrestlers are going to be out there and just like being as good as Billie Starkz, you know?
Yeah. You know who's really good too, that they're getting a lot of shine on AEW with dark matches and stuff, and they're all over the scene. The Renegade sisters, the twins.
Yep.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun too. I got to I talked to them at Icons. I have to reach out to them for an interview. But like I said, man, the women's division's great. I wish we had just had more of it in the Northeast area.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like, you see a lot of it over in, like, Cali area, of course, because it's Cali. Why wouldn't you?
Jersey.
But, yes, Jersey. And that's also why, like, I kind of like that I have a lot of bookings in Jersey, but I'm just at the point where it's like I'm always working there, and I want to, venture out other places as well. Yeah. So
New York scene's getting pretty dope, too. Masha's school, she's training Cosmic and a few other people up there. And Cosmic already had the gimmick down, the look down, the body down. Like, she works out really, like, she's really hard in her craft. But now her wrestling is meeting everything else, and it's really, really changed since she started going to Masha's school.
I think I've had one match in New York, and that was it. And that was for I can't even remember what it was, like Diamond something for the promotion. It was so long ago. I know one of my opponents was Damaris. I actually just worked her at Gen Pro. So I remember she was one of my opponents, and I think there were one or two other ones. But like I said, this match was so long ago, and I have the worst memory ever.
It's because you're not putting your hand. It's because you're not putting your hand to your face when you're taking kicks to the head.
That's exactly what it is. Mike tells me all the time. He's like, "You're getting way too many concussions." He's like, "You need to like protect yourself more." Like I I always forget to put like my dates in my calendars, and sometimes it'll be like a week before the event, and I was like, oh shit, I'm booked. I was like, I better figure out how I'm getting there because I have no idea what's going on right now.
So
I'm the absolute worst.
Who are some other goals for the year?
Let's see, like Indy wise, not to put Mike over or anything, but since him and I had started dating, I've met more workers out there. Mm-hmm. Like just people that I've
seen the gateway drug of independent wrestling.
Literally. I feel like I've become pretty decent friends with Pete Corvus, and I've seen his stuff and I've seen my stuff, and I think honestly that him and I would have a pretty badass match.
You just gave me a match I didn't think I wanted until you just said it.
That's what I didn't think I wanted it either. And then I want to say Nettie from Nettie's Photography. I think she's the one that said that first, and it just blew my mind because I was like,
"That's a great pick.
I didn't even think of that. I didn't even think of that. That'd be fantastic."
Yeah, that'd be a really good match, to be honest.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what I'm saying. I'd be down for that one. Yeah.
I think you and Vincenzo would be fun.
I'd be down for it.
Yeah, that'd be the SSW. Let's get it going. Make a run for the SSW title, and then you versus Vincenzo. Your whole camera just turned yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just noticed that.
What is up with that? What did I do?
I don't know. It's probably the auto white color or auto white. Oh, it's fading. I don't know.
Is it fading?
No.
I look like a minion right now from like Despicable Me.
You do.
I don't even know what I did. Is this like a filter? What did I do?
No,
I picked up the cords.
It caught the light, and I think the light changed in the room, so it's trying to adjust automatically.
I don't know, man, but I don't like.
You ever watch Sin City? You look like Yellow Bastard from Sin City.
Yeah, this is weird. I don't know. I have it up on my phone too because I'm like looking at it. It's so much clearer on my phone than it is like the computer screen.
Back for a second. Block the camera for a second with your hand, and then.
All right, let's do this. Oh wait, no! It just went straight back to its worse.
It worked for a second.
All right, well, everybody's gonna see me yellow now.
Yeah, that's her new gimmick. She is now a member of the Simpsons.
You're not gonna know how white I am now because I'm like I need to start tanning.
Yeah, Trump went orange, you went yellow. So besides professional wrestling, what are some other things, some other interests and hobbies that you're into?
I'm super into like artsy things. Painting, drawing. I don't do enough of it anymore. I should definitely do more. I've, done my own like designs for when it comes to like t-shirts or stuff like that. I definitely want to do a little more, but Riley Simpson, that's the gimmick. I like it. I'll take it. Oh my goodness. There's so much power. This is going to be like a meme.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to, I bet you, Mike's working on it right now. Guarantee it.
He's putting Marge hair on you.
No. I mean, I've had blue hair before, so.
So you said like my wife's in the same thing. She likes doing like art. She go to Michael's and buy a bunch of canvas prints and then just paint them and hang them around the house.
I have canvases, but like I just recently got a 65-inch TV and it came with this giant like thick piece of cardboard. So I got like these fake like green like leaf things that I super glued, and then I had like little flowers, and I put up a bunch of like pictures of me and Mike and Chase and all my friends and everything, and it looks so cute. I just have to figure out how and where to hang it up.
Yeah.
And then I probably won't do anything artsy for like another month.
That's because you have Chase in your life, and he's that kid is not a handful, but he's you got to be on your game. He's got his
moments.
Yeah, you got to be on your game with Chase. He is the cutest fucking kid ever, man.
I got a canvas somewhere where he just was like painting all willy-nilly because, well, if mommy's doing it, he has to do it too.
Yeah.
So
your Snapchat is funny. The other night when he did the one where he's like kicking Mike in the back, and he's like, what? And Mike's like, no, it feels good. Feel good.
Dude, like Mike's got him on this like massage thing. Like I'll bring him into bed and he'll lay on his back and go, massage? And that's because Mike likes the massages all the time. So like he'll sit there and give Mike like a 5-second massage and he's like, all done, my turn.
Yep.
So he'll be massaging him and he makes these noises. Like these grunts, and I was like, you are 2 years old. You do not have this much back pain.
Yeah. Oh,
It's like, where's my massage?
carrying around my glowworm all day has been really stressing out my
Exactly.
L2.
Yeah. Dude, I had to wash it after the show Sunday because he was dragging it around all over the floor. It was disgusting.
Yeah, that kid cracks me up. And
Oh,
he takes
man.
to a wrestling ring. He sees a wrestling ring, he
Oh,
loses
absolutely. I
his
had him in the
mind.
ring on Sunday, and he was loving it, knocking me down. Mike's got him standing on the bottom rope, jumping on me and everything. Dude,
Yeah.
he loves wrestling. That's his
A
thing,
very
man.
cute photo of him wearing your gear the other night too. It was
Yes,
fun.
I was like, "You want to wear my jacket?" He goes, "Glasses too." I was like, "Aye, Captain." He's in charge of me at this point.
Yeah, I love teaching him new things every show. Like I taught him the penguin and the crab. I have to come up with
He
some
does
more.
it all the time. The other day, he just came up to me and like was in my face and was like, "Crab, crab." I was like, "Yeah, I get it. Thanks." You just keep shoving your hands in my
Dude,
face.
it made
bro.
my day that like he knows my name now. Like Tony.
I love that he's like he's finally able to start remembering everybody's name, because like now we go to shows and like I trust people around him. So like someone would be like, "Oh my gosh, can I take him?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, go right ahead."
Yeah.
Like I trust everybody in the building, so it's like I'll be walking around, I turn around, I was like, "Where's my kid? Who has him this time?"
Yeah, Nettie or
But I
yeah.
mean, yeah, if Nettie's at the show, he's with her.
Yep.
She loves him. Oh man.
So besides talent, what are some what are some things you're looking forward to with this year coming up with professional wrestling as well?
Honestly, I want to get myself out there more than anything right now. I have like eyes on me on the indie scene. That's pretty awesome, but maybe eventually I can get work my way up there, get up to AEW Dark and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it's got to be this year, but I want to put myself out there. I want to get to other states. I want to work as many people as I can. Like I want to put my name out there. I want to be able to go to any wrestling show and people know who I am. Like I want to be out there.
Yeah, put your name on the map this year.
Exactly. That's the goal.
And you have the right mindset. You got to go out there and put your name out there. And you've kind of just recently done that. You had your well, not really your debut, but you've had your first showcase match for GTS, which has really helped you get your name out there.
That definitely, like any social media of any sorts, definitely got boosted up by at least 2, maybe even 300 followers on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Like everything just skyrocketed. Which that's pretty cool because like I look back at like the old GTS stuff, Mike shows it to me all the time, and you have people that are like on GCW right now, or people who are in like just those higher up companies.
The AEW World Champion had a bit
exactly. Like they've all had their time. And it's like I look at this stuff and I'm like, wow, they're really young and they have no idea what they're doing in that ring. And then you look at them now and it's like, it doesn't seem like it's that hard.
Yeah. So I was reading the comments for the match. So I'll have you break it down for the people listening or watching what type of match you put on. But I seen in the one comment, people were like, we really wanted to see them to wrestle. Like they want to see you guys like legit fight each other.
Honestly,
that was in there, but it was very This was a gimmicky, comicky match as well.
Me and Eris have had a handful of matches. She's one of my favorite people to work. So me and her we are best friends. I'll shoot and everything. We're best friends. So I love having to work her. But we've always wanted to have the spicy match. Where it's literally just us fucking around and being exactly, because like that monster gimmick thing that I did there, when I tell you that I've been toying with that idea for so long, but no promotion would do it because it's family friendly.
Didn't you tell her that you wanted to do that at the show in the library? I remember you're like, I want to get a monster energy and spit it in your mouth. Yeah.
I wanted to do that, but it was a family-friendly show. I was like, wow, GTS family-friendly. This is not going to work out.
Yeah.
So when I went there and like me and her were talking about it, and I said to Grim, I was like, dude, tell me I can do this. He goes, you can do whatever the fuck you want. I was like, all right, I'm gonna do whatever I want. So we did that, and it definitely everything went through the roof from there. So
Who is the girl at the end who rolled in the ring and took a selfie with you and rolled
That
out?
is Raina Sky. Or Raina, she goes by Raina Black. She's with Eric Black. She's
so
done
funny.
a couple of things in GTS. I've worked her other places as well. Enterprise Pro Wrestling. I've worked her with AFCW. Her and I go way back. Like from when I first started wrestling, I've known her for a pretty long time. So I was like, "Yo, hop in, do something. I don't care."
Yeah.
It was her monster that I took.
Yeah, and it was one of those matches too where it put you on the map, like in that aspect, and got your name out there more.
Yeah.
But also was a big storyline match for GTS because Grimm lost
Mm-hmm.
the title. Like for people who follow that show,
Yeah.
that's a major story plot point
Mm-hmm.
for that show. And then you have the spicy match that everyone, of course, is going to talk about. You know what I mean?
And I feel like that definitely helped me with a lot because, like, I have a lot of matches on YouTube. I don't post them myself on my own page because I've never done that. They get posted on there, and apparently people have made, like, playlists of my matches, which is really cool.
Really?
But, like, going back, and if you look at the views on the match with me and Aries for
whoever makes
GTS
the playlist, make sure you add this
insane.
podcast to the playlist.
Yes, absolutely. Somebody needs to do it.
Help your boy
If
out.
not, I mean, eventually, yeah.
There you go.
But
love the monster spot.
Exactly. Everybody loved that spot. I reading the comments during the whole match. It was mostly somebody was like, "Oh, is this a bakery?" Just talking about all that cake.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like even though that wasn't like, your typical wrestling match, it definitely helped skyrocket like other matches as well. Like looking at my views for different matches on YouTube, everything went up from there.
Mm-hmm.
People saw, GTS fans saw that. They look up all my other matches, and it's just like it's definitely helping get my name out there a little bit more. So hoping to make more appearances in GTS in the future.
I'm not even a member or a part of that company whatsoever, and I didn't even know it existed until that I gave you guys a ride to that library that day. So I remember Mike.
I didn't know it existed until Mike. Like,
same here.
To be quite honest, like I feel like I was in like this hole of the same like 5 promotions for the longest time, and then this motherfucker comes along and like, dude, to be honest, I didn't even know GCW was a thing.
Wow. I knew of GCW.
That's how like deep of a hole that I was in. So like now there's GCW, there's GTS, there's all these like different promotions coming in. I was like, I have never heard of any of these promotions, but I'm gonna go work for them all. So let's see what we can do.
I love the fact, like, one of my favorite places, and it's no secret, like I love Sanctuary, I love Smash, I love
absolutely.
High Tension, because they're promotions that put on good matches, but also don't take themselves super serious, and it's a fun environment, a fun locker room. We can put on joke matches, and we can still be funny and do crazy things. And then when he showed me GTS, and then being involved, just kind of being like welcomed in as a person, just like I wasn't treated as a fan, I was kind of in with the boys in the locker room, and then experiencing GTS at that library show, and then seeing now like Mike is helping, bringing in you and bringing in Rosh and bringing in JS Hawthorne, and now Grimm is coming to 570 and he's going to wrestle. And it's just kind of like, I feel like there's going to be this good molding pot. And like, Corvus, another one I'd love to see wrestle more in the 570. And a lot of these people who they're like the Jersey scene is starting to mix with the PA scene. And I really, really, I'm here for it because Jersey's
I'm living for that. It's the best.
Yeah, the Jersey scene, man, like SSW and IWA, like the first couple people I've seen do it was like the Faceless Ones and Bougie and all, and then now like if we can get Bad Company and Vinny and Corvus and Bonifer and a few of these other Jada Key Evans and all these like people who are Grimm guys but also Jersey guys and mix them into the 570 and vice versa. Like I think between our crew and that crew, man, we can make really good. They can make good magic.
Absolutely, go straight through the roof for that one. Yeah.
So I'm excited for the future of
that.
The Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York mix of professional wrestling that can come this year between 4 or 5 promotions working together is going to be really special.
Yeah, I think even if it's like you see, like at this point, promoters are working together to get people onto each other's show. Like, I forget who it was, but just different promotions just working together, getting, people out there talking to each other about like, let's do this, let's work this as an angle. You know what I mean?
Or have your
And it's just
storyline
like,
carry over to my promotion.
exactly. And I love that. I do, because it's just like this storyline, just because something bigger, because, it's mixed into different promotions, and because like it's part of your gimmick at that point,
You know who I give all the credit to for that? Killian and the Goons.
Mm-hmm.
Killian and the Goons had that goon the Goon storyline crossover from High Tension and Camp Leapfrog to Delaware, from Delaware to Jersey to like everywhere they went, man. That story followed them, and they made one of the most interesting storylines in the independent scene, to the point where every single member of their stable got in the PWI 500, and now that's even becoming more of a storyline, because they're like, how do you put Dust in the 500 spot? You know what I mean?
There's like no backing down when it comes to Killian. Like, for the entire time that I've known Killian, he's just always been on his shit. Like, it's like I turn around, you see him on this poster, you see him in this state, you see him working this person, and there's nothing stops the fire that he has. And I might have heard a little birdie that maybe him and I could be getting a match shortly, and that I am 100 for this. Like,
I heard that birdie root too.
See? That birdie's got a mouth, huh?
That strange bird told me.
The strange bird. But like, I personally think that would be a great match, like, for me, because like I said, he's all around. He's at all these different promotions, and that'll definitely put my name out there. But just to like have it, Riley Krowe versus Killian, like, I think that's gonna be a great fucking match.
I totally agree. I think there's a lot of fun stuff that's gonna come out this year. It's gonna be dope. I'm pumped. A lot of people in the chat. If anyone has any questions for Riley, please get them in now. Yeah. What's up? Jeanette's in the chat. She said you're a bad bitch.
Hi, Natty.
Mick Thompson said hello. Gears, don't worry about it, brother. I hope you had a good day at work. Welcome to the stream. If you, like I said, if you guys have any questions, put them out there. I didn't get a chance to get any questions for Mike because we didn't shut the fuck up the whole time. So the floor is open for questions. Also, please, if you are watching this, I didn't do this in the beginning. I probably should have. This is the corny. Make sure you like and subscribe. Help out a little bit.
Oh yeah.
We are on the quest for 1K. So if we can hit this YouTube channel to 1K, that'd be dope.
Let's hit it. Absolutely.
So pop culture wise, like obviously your name Krowe, that comes from pop culture references. What else are you into when it comes to that? Like horror movies, comedy movies. What are some of your favorites?
I am all for the horror movies. I've watched them since I was like a little kid. What was that beep? Oh my god.
I think your phone vibrated.
Probably. Yeah, I'd like the horror movies have always been like, I love them. I think you had a live open the one day. You were asking about that stuff. The only horror movie that's ever gotten me was The Grudge. I don't know what it was, but that one scene where the hand comes up in your head when you're showering, I could not face the shower head when I showered, because for some reason, little me thought the hand came out of the shower head and was getting her.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
What about Freddy in the tub?
And that didn't do anything for me.
Freddy comes up between her legs in the tub?
That did absolutely nothing for me. Like, I could watch any horror movie. Apparently, when I was younger, I told my parents that a good horror movie will have tits in it.
You're not wrong.
Because if you think about it, if a horror movie can have nudity, how much blood and gore can it have?
Yeah.
If there's no nudity, then it's like semi blood and gore, and then it's not as good.
If you have a slasher movie and there's no boobs, I quit. The only slasher movie that does not have a set of boobs in it, and I still think it's the greatest slasher movie of all time, is Scream.
That is a fantastic
The closest
movie.
we get to boobs in Scream is Rose McGowan in that really, really tiny white t-shirt, and she gets stuck in the garage door.
I always forget. So the movie, you remember 13 Ghosts?
Yes, great movie.
That has always been one of my favorite movies, and I always forget that, like, literally there's a chick walking around butt-ass naked in that movie.
Yeah.
But I'm so focused on the actual movie, I forget that she's actually in there.
And she had a slamming body, but it was all cut up.
Exactly, and I mean, not that I'm complaining, but like, that was a good movie.
You know what made that movie amazing? There's one reason why that movie was amazing. Probably one of the best people in movie history. He should get more jobs. He should be in every single movie. Matthew Lillard.
Absolutely.
Dude's a goat. Why is Matthew Lillard not in everything?
I wish he was, honestly. Like, oh man, that man.
Yeah. Fucking cut me deep, man. I'm fucking
I
dying.
love it. His acting in like his movies when he was in his like early 20s, like I mean, even his acting now is like so good. But like
He's
early
Shaggy for a whole
20s,
generation
like
of people.
absolutely. And it's funny because he goes from like this stoned out dude who talks to a dog and goes to this murderous psycho in a horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that you're just like able to do both and not like completely lose your mind just baffles me, but I love it.
So Hunter says, if you weren't a professional wrestler, what would your dream job be?
I mean, when I was a kid, I've always wanted to be a fashion illustrator. I don't want to be that now because like looking back at the things that I drew up like outfit wise, no. They're not good.
You could do it.
Dude, this stuff looked like I was obsessed with Hannah Montana as a kid. So like when I would draw up these dresses and everything, like it looked like shit. Like they were like these glittery, like out of like the world. And like looking back at it, I was like, yo, I don't know why I wanted to do this when I was younger because it wasn't good.
Make wrestling gear.
I could do that. I mean, I've designed my own, but like I've never actually made it.
And stuff?
To a point. I mean, I have done it. Like I have a black top that was just a black top. I sewed on like, the band and everything for it. The gear that I have now isn't even actual gear. Like it's just pieces that I bought from separate places and just it fit all together so perfectly.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, I've always been into the clothing thing. Like you can ask Mike, I probably get a new package in some form of clothing like every other week. But otherwise,
how often do you go through leggings and fishnets?
I go through fishnets quite often.
I fucking just bought these
all the time because like the waist chain that I wear that has the chains, no matter what I do, it always gets stuck on my leggings. And when I'm in the middle of the match, I can't sit there and like pick it apart. So I just rip it off and it gets stuck like 3 times in my match. So I'm constantly going through fishnets. I order them by like. You can get packs on Amazon. There's like 8 of them in one pack.
So I don't know if you're aware of this, and you probably are, but somebody, when I was putting links up for future episodes, went to Angel Metro's website, and she just had a match where she was bleeding. So she did like a death match, and she sold her bloody fishnets, and someone bought them.
Dude, so I'm about to start doing that, man.
Start selling your fishnets.
That's what I'm saying. Like all these fishnets, I'll make sure I won't even wash them and be like, yo, my dirty, sweaty fishnets, who wants to buy them?
There you go.
Because I guarantee somebody will.
Absolutely. People buy any ring gear. Guy ring gear, girl ring gear, they buy it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Here's a Kai says your favorite horror movie franchise.
See, it depends. Like Michael Myers has always been one of my favorites.
He was when I was a young kid.
Except for that's what I'm saying. Like the last few recent ones have just like, I feel like they're just trying to find something to do with it. Like they want to continue the franchise, but they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Like give me the first like 3 or 4 movies and boom, they are so good.
Give me the first 2 and I'm good.
Those are probably the best.
Anything after Season of the Witch that's not Michael Myers for me was garbage. I didn't like any
That's
of it.
valid.
H2O was fine because you brought back Jamie Lee Curtis.
I like
that was
H2O.
Kind of like a reboot. Yeah. Well, H2O was a reboot before it was before they rebooted it before. Yeah.
Yeah, but like the most recent ones are just kind of it feels like they're just trying to get something out there.
Yeah. So Michael Myers as a character for me was my favorite as a kid. Well, him and Freddy were my favorite as a kid. And then as I got older, I was like, well, Freddy, it's hard to classify Freddy as a horror movie because you're rooting for him the whole time. Like you're rooting for Freddy to kill these kids. Like he became the joke. Like it's like when the heel becomes the baby face. You know what I mean? And then rewatching it, I was like, Halloween movies are a convoluted mess. The stories make no sense, and they're not that good. And then I hated Friday the 13th as a kid, and then watched it as I get older. I'm like, this is the best when it comes to horror movie franchises. Scream and Friday the 13th are your 2 best, and they both have their corny moments.
When it comes to like horror movies, I don't know if it makes sense, but like if you have like college students or high school students, like groups of like younger, like young adult type kids, I feel like those are always the best kind of horror movies.
That was a Scream.
Like you have Exactly. Yeah. Like
I know
you
what you
have
did
like
last summer and Facility. Yeah.
Like I feel like those are always like the best kind of movies. Like you find they have like some of those movies where it's like it's about one person, they get stalked, and it's kind of boring.
Yeah.
Like I want the killer to be going after more than one person. You know, have fun with it. But then you just got like
everyone in the chat. Halloween was trash. Last Halloween was
the
trash.
last Halloween was trash. Yeah. Absolutely.
What was I just watching the other day that was pretty good? We're adding actually to the channel very soon. Movie reviews, TV reviews, comic book reviews, music reviews, like reviewing albums. And then me and Heidi, we're gonna have guests come in and stuff, but me and Heidi are gonna do like a dedicated just horror movies. Like try to do it like once a month or twice a month, and just review horror movies. Because Heidi is a horror movie junkie.
Dude,
like, she could put The Exorcist on and fall asleep.
Horror movies. I could do that too. It's just literally like no horror movie has ever scared me. The only thing was The Grudge. Yeah. That was it. See, to this day, like
I
everything
can't say
else,
that never
I can
scared
binge.
me because I put myself in a mind state to watch a horror movie to become scared. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
See, I can't do that.
Yeah, I have to. I have to let my inhibitions down. It's like a wrestling show. Like you know what you're going into, but if you let your inhibitions down and just enjoy what's happening,
yeah, I guess I have like a fucked up mind because like you see them doing or like just something in the horror movie, and it's like, dude, if this was like a real thing, that I wouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
So like I'll sit there, I'll be laughing while somebody is getting murdered, and it's like, well, dude, that's your fault. You should have ran out the door, not up the stairs. I'm absolutely horrible with it. I'll just sit there and just like put them on blast for the stupid shit that they're doing.
Yeah. All right. Any last questions? Please get them in. Riley, where can people find you on the wonderful world of the internet?
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Just, search up Riley Krowe. Krowe is Krowe, always with a K and not a C.
And an E at the end.
Yes, and an E at the end.
That was a whole bit on commentary one night.
Yes. Yep, it's always with a K at the front and an E at the end. Otherwise, everybody always does the CROW.
Where does the Krowe rank in your movies?
I love the Krowe. Absolutely love it. Mike's never seen it.
What?
Never.
I actually own it. So I bought it thinking I didn't own it before. Do you have it on Blu-ray?
No, I don't. I don't have it at all. And I just watch it on whatever streaming
I'm giving you my double copy because I own it twice.
He has to see. It's so good.
It's so good. Literally, it's one of the best superhero movies that wasn't a superhero movie before superhero movies were a thing.
Like if I sit there and say to somebody, it can't rain all the time, and you don't know where I'm coming from with that, like, what are you even doing?
Yeah.
And he has no idea. I was like, dude, you are missing out on like one of the best movies out there.
Do you think if you did a shot and swallowed a live bullet, would it be harmful to you?
That's definitely a possibility.
I've always wanted to try it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, just a little bit of curiosity.
Yeah. The Krowe taught me
great.
The movies are ruining our children. Speaking of The Grudge, that one never bothered me. In fact, I had a crush on the girl from it.
Well,
I never even knew what she looked like.
She's creepy. That's what that is. She's got that long black hair, the pale face, her eyes, she doesn't blink, her mouth is just like
everyone did that. That was like everyone's impression that you
Dude, when I was younger, my dad used to do it all the time. Like I'll be sleeping and he just comes up and starts making that sound. It scares me shitless.
What was the other one? There was the Grudge and The Ring. Remember when? And then they have a movie where the Grudge and The Ring met each other.
Yeah. Wasn't that just called The Ring?
No, it was
I forget what it was.
Someone played the Grudge. I think it was a Japanese movie, but somebody played the Ring movie and then ran into the Grudge house, and then Samira and the Grudge girl fought each other, I guess. I don't know. It's stupid.
I don't think I've ever seen it from start to finish. Because like when I first heard about it, I was like, oh, I have to see it, but then just never did.
Did you ever watch the Japanese version of The Grudge?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, so there's a Japanese version of, I believe, The Ring and The Grudge. The Japanese version is very similar to the American version. Like they actually took scenes straight from the Japanese and redid them, but it's pretty good. Yeah, Shudder's a good way to see all those foreign horror movies. Last question here, and then we'll get out of here. If you can write a letter to your younger self, what would you write? Getting deep here at the end.
That is deep. Oh man.
That's Hunter's go-to question.
That's a good question.
Great
Honestly,
question,
I'd keep it like pretty short and simple and just tell myself not to beat myself up over the tiny things, because I did that a lot. You know, I was one of those kids where everything had to be perfect for everybody else except for myself. So that's kind of where it comes in with wrestling and everything. Like, I still do it after my matches. I did it after this weekend because, like I said, my head just wasn't there. So like, if I know the match was supposed to go a certain way and it doesn't, I will beat myself up over it all the time. And everybody just keeps on telling me the same thing. They're like, as long as the crowd was into it, it doesn't matter what you do in your match. You could sit there and like plan 7 things and only do 2 of them, but the crowd doesn't know because they don't know what you planned. As long as they're into it and they're cheering at all these great spots that you're doing, you know, you're interacting with them, and that's all that matters, you know?
Yeah.
So I would definitely tell myself, you know, don't be so harsh on yourself. Just take it one step at a time and do what you feel is right, you know? Yeah.
Isaac says, I still like our match.
I do. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I would like those kicks were absolutely phenomenal. Just everything about it was good. I liked it. I definitely.
Is that available online to watch it, or?
I think it was posted through YouTube. I think Isaac actually has a version of it posted up on YouTube right now as well.
Cool, Isaac. If you don't get it in time, send me the link or put it in the comment section when this goes off the air, so people can check that match out and subscribe. to the page.
Dude's got some good kicks, and he did with that match, but I want a rematch for it. So
there it is. Riley, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Man.
I'm glad we finally got this. Now you can finally go and do other podcasts. So if you want to book Riley Krowe, you can book her.
Just rip up our waiver.
Yeah.
Work 2 other podcasts now.
Yeah. It honestly, man, the end of 2022 for me mentally was tough. I was not in a good spot. I felt like ending the podcast for me was tough. And I felt, honestly, besides my wife, I felt honestly alone. Like, I felt like I was by myself.
I feel that, yeah.
You and Mike were really big bright spots in that and taking me under your wings. And
I've made a lot of new friends at the end of 2022, and that's definitely helped me mentally. I'll be quite honest, the return of Saraya definitely put me out there of wanting to work harder when it comes to wrestling. When her injury initially happened, I was devastated because that is my dream opponent. I was like, I'll never get to work her. And then she came back and I was like, wow, I need to work harder because now this is like my second chance of being able to work her. Like, it was just like a sign for me, like, you need to get your name out there. You need to work harder because in the future you're working her. So yeah.
Has she been like your bright spot in wrestling? Is that the person you've looked up to for a long time?
Yeah, I mean, I've liked a lot of people, like Lita. I love Lita, Toni Storm, but like Saraya from the beginning as Paige, like, I don't know what it was, but there's just always been something about her that I was like, I want to work her one day. And like I said, with that spark, like, I feel like part of it faded when she got injured, and I was like, I will never get to work her again. Like, when she did her return and everything, I bawled my eyes out. I was like, this is my second chance. I said, this is my chance to up my game, get my name out there, and if I'm lucky, have a match with her within the next year or 2, you know?
I would love that for you. Even if it's a dark squash match, just get it in.
Squash me all you want. I'll be in a ring with Saraya. I'm down for it.
I love that.
Absolutely.
But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Like I said, plenty more to come. This Sunday we're having an interview with Angel Metro.
Yes,
so make sure you guys tune in on Sunday. The audio for this podcast right now will be available within the next couple minutes. So make sure you go subscribe and check that out. You can also see Riley very, very soon when it comes to wrestling. If you're available this weekend, come to the Night of Steel. And then also SSW will both be there making the rounds. And then you can also see her at Smashmaster Wrestling on the 5th. And I believe High Tension Wrestling this month.
Yep, I am on High Tension. Yep.
There you go. We're making the rounds. We'll be together.
Them out there. We're at every one of these things.
Links below to support are there. Please follow us on all social media, merchandise pages, all that stuff. Also, what was I going to say before we get out of here? And I just completely lost my train of thought. I don't know. Merch. If you want to grab merch, all that stuff's there. Just subscribe. Have some fun. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. We'll see you next time for the ABJ podcast. We're out of here.
All right. I'll see you, man.